Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good morning.
Afternoon, it's 12. Good
It's
afternoon,
12.
everyone.
Good afternoon.
So, hello, everyone. Welcome to our 12 o'clock focus on my hometown.
Yay. Seamus, will you
I
introduce yourself to us, please?
Okay, so I am Seamus. I am from Redcastle in Donegal in Ireland. I'm going to go really accurate because
You
today we're
got really,
talking about hometown.
you know something, you got really specific and you've never told me the name of the town.
Ah, well,
This,
name of the village more than a town.
you said it's
So
Redcastle? Redcastle?
Redcastle, yeah, it's nice and
Nice.
easy to remember. A beautiful
Mhm.
place.
I bet.
Uh, I'm 30 years old and I'm an English teacher in Florence, Baracca.
Oh,
Jane, can you introduce yourself?
am I supposed to say my age?
You don't have to, no, you don't have to.
Right. I'm Jane. I'm an English teacher in Florence. And I also work at the school, Baracca, my English school, Baracca.
Mhm.
And I am originally from the United States and from the state of New York and the town or the city of Syracuse and the town of Manlius. I got
Wow,
really
now
specific.
that's specific. Is it a big town or a small town?
Um, Maybe about 10,000 people.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Redcastle doesn't have many people.
no, I mean, how many people are in Redcastle?
I don't know. If I was to guess, maybe between 500 and 1,000, but it's like they're scattered in a big radius. So it's like all countryside.
Really? Oh, fantastic. Do you have a local pub?
Oh, yes. We have,
A
well,
couple?
we had three. We now have one, which is
Mhm.
also closed down at the moment.
Oh, and do you love going to the pub when you're in Redcastle
Me,
or
I
no?
don't know, but my brothers do. My brothers love going to the pub. I loved playing football or going to the spa at the hotel. It was my it was the best part for me. We have a
Really?
lovely hotel in Redcastle. We actually have lots of things, even though it is the countryside. We have a hotel, a lovely golf course, a football club with amazing facilities. We have an
Really?
indoor fun park and a nightclub, which is really strange. But in Ireland, you have nightclubs everywhere.
Really?
Yeah. So for a place with so little people, there is so much to do.
Sounds great. I want to go. I
Yeah, you
definitely want
should.
to go there.
Should.
I'm going to
It's
come to
beautiful.
Ireland this summer.
Okay. So let's
Hi,
see what
Mom.
we're going to do in this focus activity.
Hi, Elvira.
Okay. Oh, hi. So my name is Elvira. I live near Rome. So be careful with the Y. So I live near Rome. Grotta Ferrata.
Yeah,
So you can say, I live in Grotta Ferrata near Rome. Okay,
Yeah.
is another way to say it. Well done. Jane, can you introduce this focus activity?
Sure. My hometown. In this focus activity, describing your hometown, present perfect tenses, and
Yes,
using for and since.
excellent. Yeah, so after this focus, our students will be able to describe their hometown in lots of detail. And they will also be able to share experiences using present perfect simple and present perfect continuous to tell us like the duration of how long they lived there, what they did there, or what they are doing there, if they're also from their hometown or living in their hometown at the minute, using for and since. Near. Ah, okay, I live near. You could say I live in Grottaferrata, near Rome. You could say it is a town
Yeah, but I don't
nearby.
think nearby is a town nearby. You
Yeah,
that
not so.
actually takes the place of the object. So,
Yeah.
well, So
Okay.
you really couldn't use that nearby in that sentence.
No,
Or
I'm
did I?
afraid not. Nearby is more vague.
Hi, Tatiana. I just had you in the last lesson. Thank you for coming and joining us today. Hi, I'm Tatiana. I'm from St. Petersburg, Russia, but now I live in Lyon, France. Hello,
Amazing.
Tatiana. Great.
Now, perfect structure. Okay. We have a lovely big text to read at the start. So, small town USA. And because it is USA, Jane, I think it is only fair that you get to read it.
Thank you, Seamus. Small town, USA. Anna is from a tiny town in the middle of the United States. She has lived there since she was born. Her town is tranquil and quiet. There is a broad river that runs along the edge of town, and she has been fishing there since she was a child. The library has been there for 50 years and was just renovated last fall. If she could change one thing about her town, it would be to add a traffic light. Right now, there is only a stop sign, and traffic is always jumbled on Main Street.
Perfect. Well done.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So, guys, if there are any words that you are unfamiliar with, you can write them in the chat. So just let us know. So we
Hi,
have Thomas from Bologna.
Bologna. Hello.
Thank you for joining. Oh, just want to make this bigger. 1 second.
Oh no, that's small now.
No, don't worry. It will come back in a few seconds.
Okay.
Okay, so here we have find synonyms for small, wide, updated, and a mess.
A mess.
A mess. So synonyms, words that are similar. Let's see who can find these words first. So Jane, can you describe your hometown again using some adjectives?
My hometown was small, very suburban America. I mean, I would love to give you like adjectives, but the only thing I can think of is a real suburban America.
Were there lots of American flags outside everyone's homes?
Yes. Yeah,
Very
it was
patriotic.
very patriotic, very upper middle class kind of. I would say boring a little bit.
So like,
I mean,
I'm not picturing tall buildings, apartments. I'm
no.
picturing smaller like bungalows, 2-story houses lined in a street with lots of garden areas and a park.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of green because I'm from upstate New York, so it's very green in the summer, and in the winter there's a lot of snow. And there was also a cinema,
Oh, beautiful.
couple of restaurants, an ice cream shop that was only in the summer.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
You have that's
small,
more than Red
small,
Castle.
small town America. Small town America.
Mm,
That's the only way I can describe it.
perfect. And we have the synonym of small is Tatiana and Thomas have provided us the answer. So
Yay!
small, tiny. Well done.
Tiny. Yeah.
Say small or tiny. And then Tatiana is already on number 2. So wide and broad. Well done, Tatiana. So you could describe, what things can you describe as wide, Jane?
A river. A river
The
can be wide.
rivers.
Yeah. Even the street or the road can be wide.
Yes.
The highways in the United States are really wide.
Yeah, the highways in Italy are quite narrow. For me,
Yeah.
they're quite scary. They go very fast, but the barrier is just beside. You could put your hand out the window
And
and
touch them.
and touch it. For me, it's like
Absolutely.
it's crazy. And the streets The streets in Florence are very narrow.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So they're not wide. Is the Arno a wide river?
No,
Not really, no.
not really. I think
You
it's
could
narrow.
throw a stone from one side to the other, so it is not wide.
How
Updated.
about how about the Amazon River? Would you say that's wide?
I think that would be. It's definitely wide. I
Yeah.
think so. I've seen some pictures.
I think it's the widest in the world, actually.
Well, I'm sure it has some narrow points, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
very wide at some points.
Yeah.
There is in my hometown, there is a lake, or we call a loch. So it is very
Oh,
wide at one point, and then just before it goes out to the Atlantic Ocean, it is narrow. So like it helps the water stay calm, but it still also moves very fast. So not suitable for swimming. It is dirty and very cold. But it hasn't stopped. It didn't stop me in the past. Still fun.
oh, there. Oh,
We have an example here.
says the
So
town.
Elvira. Have we lost Jane? Maybe we have. I can't hear her.
Am I back?
I think you're back now.
I'm
Have a go
back.
again.
Oh, dear. Hello. I just, if you want to read
Elvira.
Elvira's comment,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so Elvira, the town I live is a small town. There is a small lake, the Lake of Albano. There are a lot of wide, ancient 5th century buildings. Okay, so she's saying that the buildings are very wide. Probably
Okay.
use more big buildings, but it's possible.
Yeah.
You could say building is very wide. Okay, so updated ancient. Okay, so wide, updated ancient 5th story buildings. So good, yeah. So updated, renovated.
Okay.
Very good. I'm trying to think. So one of the pubs in Redcastle is closed down because it has never been updated. It has
Oh,
never
dear.
been renovated. And
It's
now,
horrible.
yeah, now it looks very, very bad.
Dilapidated.
Yeah, it looks like a mess.
A mess.
So a synonym for a mess, guys, can you help us out? So on one side of the road, you have a dilapidated hotel, but on the other side of the road, you have an amazing football pitch or football ground. Was my favorite place to go in Redcastle.
You played a lot of football, huh?
I played lots of football. Well, I tried to play football. I wasn't very good, Jane.
Oh, dear.
I tried my best. So a mess, not busy, Elvira, but a mess is jumbled, okay? So if you say, my room is a mess, it is jumbled. I can't find anything.
Okay, but do you use that word jumbled very often?
Not very often.
And I think it's a very strange word. We don't use it that much in the United States either. So I don't know why they chose it, because I think there's other adjectives that could be better in that.
Definitely. Jumbled for me is more for a puzzle, or the words. The words are jumbled. Okay, they're a mess.
Don't we usually say jumbled up? Don't we usually use it as a phrasal verb?
Yeah, it's jumbled up. It's all jumbled up. It's true. Okay, so I guess to describe your hometown, I would avoid jumbled. So more a mess.
A mess.
Some people might like to say polluted, but it's really negative.
Well,
my
you
town
could also say chaotic, couldn't you?
Yeah, chaotic for lots of people. It's very busy. So Elvira, you have one type of context from a mess if you're referring to people very busy. Okay, so in this text, Can you find sentences that use since or for? So we have 2 examples with since and 1 example with for. Can someone write those for us? Because I can't find them. I'm too tired. I'm too sleepy today. Oh.
You're
It has
always
been. I'm always sleepy, I know. The same excuse every day.
That's all right.
It has been how many days since I was outside? Almost 2 weeks. It's getting a long time. Get it.
Who has done the grocery shopping? Your girlfriend?
Oh, I do the shopping, or we do the shopping online.
Oh,
We are super lazy, super precautious.
No, let me tell you something. That's super precautious, super smart. I've got to do that today or next week because I don't want to go out again. I'm sorry.
Ah, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
A good idea. So we have since she was. Very good. So since she was a child, make sure you say a child. So since she was a child. And we have one above that. Perfect. Thank you, Thomas. So Thomas, she has lived there since she was born. Very good. And we have the other example for for 50 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So that brings us to our last question on this slide. When do we use since? When do we use for? What is the difference? Can I use since and for at the same time? Can I say she has lived there for she was born? Is that possible?
Nope, it's not possible.
We have another word for a mess, cluttered.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Fantastic.
Cluttered.
Yeah.
Very good.
Let's talk about it. What do you think we use since for?
So since is for referring to the start. Okay, a specific point at the start. So she has lived there since she was born.
I always think that it's better to say a duration of time.
Would duration not be used for for?
No, because for is a point in time. Oh,
Are you sure?
Wait, I'm sorry. I just had a moment. I just had a senior moment, but we're not even going to talk about that. Holy Moses.
Shh, Jane, don't teach them the opposites.
Sorry, everybody. I just had a senior moment. Okay.
Okay. You can just pretend you were a student and I was teaching you the right one. So since the start point, good, and for is the duration. Don't listen to Jane. She's going crazy.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Elvira knows, and for is used for when we are speaking about the duration.
Yeah.
Very good. So
Absolutely.
Tatiana and Elvira. Perfect. Okay, so Jane, let's just make sure you understand. How long have you lived in Florence?
I've lived in Florence for 30 years.
Perfect. I have lived in Florence since
1991 or 2.
Okay, good. Yes.
A long time. Were you even born, Seamus?
I was born, I think, well, I am 30 years old, so I was born around the same time you moved to Florence or Italy.
I think I'm going to kill myself right now.
You make me feel young, Jane. I'm only joking.
Yeah, you make me feel old. What's
I'm sorry. Okay, so here we have a gap fill exercise, focusing mostly on for or since. I'm going to try and make this bigger again. Every time I change,
it's okay right now.
It gets smaller because of.
Oh, the
I
slide.
think maybe it's because I'm using. So there we go. It's the biggest we can get it. Okay.
Perfect.
Big city, UK. Wes is from a really congested, densely populated city in the UK. It is urban. advanced and metropolitan, with construction and industry everywhere. Okay, can you help us fill in the next two sentences? So
Yeah,
he, so what is the structure? You need to keep in mind the structure for present perfect.
that's right. For present
Okay.
perfect, we're using here.
Do you know the past participles? So you can write number 1 equals, and number 2 equals, to help us out.
Tatiana, are you doing this? I bet you got this. To Elvira, we're
So,
waiting.
for my example, I have lived in Florence for 15 months.
Oh, okay.
About 15 months. I still don't know any Italian.
Would you have you taken a class?
Yes, I have taken 3 classes. 3 one-hour classes.
Oh no,
It
that
wasn't
doesn't count.
enough.
No, I mean classes that lasted.
No, just 3 classes, Jane.
No, that's supposed to be like 1, 2, 3. I mean, like a whole.
No, I haven't. In that case,
Right.
no, I haven't taken any classes or courses
Okay.
for
Courses is
Italian.
the correct word. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, for me, I would say classes like that one class. Have you taken a class, or have you done a course?
Have you done a course? Yeah, it's more. It's you definitely. It's a better way to describe it. Yeah. Have you done a course? So,
Yeah.
have you done a course? No.
No, I have done only 3 classes. There's lots of time to learn Italian. It's okay. I
Oh,
haven't
you're not going anywhere.
I haven't needed Italian yet. Yet. We will
Yeah.
wait until I get sick, then I will have a problem.
Oh, Seamus, do not say that. Okay. He,
So we have good
Thomas,
answers. Thomas corrected himself, which is really good. So yeah, he has
and
lived.
Elvira, and also Tatiana.
Yeah,
Nice.
Tatiana, well done.
Fantastic.
So he has lived there for. Very good, because we have 6 years, and we can't say since 6 years. Would be strange. So he has lived there for 6 years. He has lived there since 2014.
Yep.
They, Tatiana has given us the answer for the second one. So they have demolished and restructured restructured buildings in his neighborhood every year since
No,
2008.
Tatiana, you can't really say are demolishing because that's an action that's that's continuing. So that gives you the idea of continuing. In this moment, they're doing this now, and really, that's not what the meaning of the sentence is.
Yeah, but because you have 2008, we wouldn't use the present continuous, are demolishing. Okay, so they have demolished and restructured buildings in his neighborhood every year since 2008. You cannot say every year for 2008, okay? Because 2008 is only 1 year. You could say, I have been camping for every month of 2020, maybe. That be possible? I've been camping every month for.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
No, you would probably just say I was camping every month in 2020. Okay, so in the last sentence, it's disruptive and noisy. Definitely not Redcast. Sounds like Dublin. If he could, he would move to a new flat on a charming, quiet street. So we have 2 questions here. What conditional is the last sentence, and what is the synonym of charming?
Ooh, I like those
So
questions.
conditional.
Yeah, it's a conditional. Hmm.
Synonym of charming.
You know?
So Jane, do you think I am charming?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jane.
Absolutely. You're very charming. Fascinating. Charming. No, I think, okay, so you're thinking of the Italian of affascinante, and it's not. Fascinating means something that's really interesting, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
It doesn't mean, so they're not synonyms. Charming and
Hmm.
fascinating are not really synonyms. No, okay? No, handsome is good looking, and yes, Seamus is very good looking, but charming is more like um
You can use charming for something that is handsome. So like Prince Charming, attractive, but it also has another meaning. Yeah. So if I, for example, if I'm talking about a person, charming, handsome is okay. But if I, in this context, if I'm talking about a place, rather than handsome, because handsome is for a person, you would say charming is attractive. Well done, Tatiana.
attractive,
So
yeah,
attractive. Uh,
attractive.
what did we just say? Charming is very pleasant. Okay, something that is pleasant to
Yeah.
look at. It is attractive. It is wonderful. Wonderful is a nice word.
Okay, so
Okay,
tell me,
and
you've got a pair that you have it a conditional, but we'd like to know which conditional this is. Is it a
okay.
zero conditional? Is it a first conditional? Or is it a second conditional?
Hmm.
Third
So
conditional? Well,
Tatiana thinks third conditional, but in this case, not third
it's
conditional
not,
because we
not,
don't have past perfect and we don't
yeah, we
have
don't.
would have. So not the third conditional, Tatiana, sorry. So I will write it in the third conditional to show you the difference. So if,
It's a second. Good, Tatiana, it's a good. No, it's not first. We have a past in the first part of the sentence, everybody. What is the past in the first part of the sentence, in the if clause? Your past is could. It's the past of can. So you've
okay,
got a past in the first part, and in the second part, you have would. So here, you've definitely got the form of a second conditional.
yeah, so here is the second conditional. I gave an example. This is what the third conditional would look like. If he could have, he would have, okay? The cause, the if effect, cause and effect, both in the past. Okay. Second conditional, if he could, is in the past. He would move is in the present or the future. Okay. So second conditional, the first half in the past, the second in the present. Third conditional, everything in the past. First conditional would be if he can,
In the
he
present
will
plus the
move.
future. Yeah,
Yeah.
plus
So
the future form.
present simple, comma, will. Second
Absolutely.
conditional, past simple, comma, would, plus infinitive. Third conditional, if past perfect, comma, would, plus present perfect. So would have moved.
Yeah, but you didn't put that into the past perfect in the first sentence here. If he could have, he could.
Mhm.
Yeah, that sentence is very confusing, Seamus, for third
Okay, so
conditional.
you say would have moved.
Yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, you've got to give the structure and the
Okay.
example in a way that's kind of, yeah, it's a little bit confusing. Why do we use this? Why do we use the second conditional? Does anybody know why we use the second conditional? You remember why we use the second conditional, Seamus?
Okay, so second conditional for hypothetical
Mm-hmm.
situations, unreal situations.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, I will give some more examples in the chat while our students match up this difficult vocabulary to their meanings.
Perfect.
So we have the title, The Boondocks, very
Ooh.
Australian, I think. So in the boondocks, what area is that? You can also try and answer that. So then we have in the sticks, downtown, suburbs, outskirts, and street smart or streetwise.
Mm-hmm.
So Jane, can you read the definitions?
Sure. Residential areas outside the city. Very rural in the country. The edge of the city. Able to deal with problems of urban life. The city center. So let's start with in the sticks. Does anybody have an idea of what that means to live in the sticks? Hmm.
What is in the sticks? What is a stick? If you find out what a stick is, this
Do
will be
you know?
easy.
Does anybody know? Is it a residential area in the sticks? Is it rural, where you live in the middle of the country or the countryside?
So
The edge of the
in the
city?
sticks, no,
No.
it's not the edge of the city.
Nope, it's not the edge of the city.
So I'll give you a clue. So I can get lots of sticks if I go to a forest. So
Yeah.
where would I find a forest?
Mm.
So in the sticks,
It's
in the
gonna
forest.
be in the forest. It's a good example. Okay, so
Okay.
it's going to be very rural in the country. So, for example, if I say I live in the sticks, I kind
Mm-hmm.
of do. I mean, I don't, but I do. You know, I don't live in the city center. I live in the countryside. So
Okay.
I could say I kind of live in the sticks.
Good. Yeah.
And no, I shouldn't say that.
Perfect.
It's not really.
So when I lived in Redcastle, I lived in the sticks. So I lived near
Yeah.
a forest. It was in the
Yeah.
countryside. It was not near anything important.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That sounds probably better.
okay, and the next one, I think everyone will be able to get it. So downtown, what is the definition for downtown? Downtown is very American, I think.
You know, and also it depends on the city. For example, if
Okay.
you in Charlotte, North Carolina, where my daughter lives, they call downtown uptown.
Okay, because it's higher.
I don't know. It's just very
No?
strange.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, wow. So downtown, city center, well done, Thomas. Suburbs. What are the suburbs?
What are the suburbs? I think most of you know what the suburbs are, because in Italian it's almost the same word. Huh? No, Elvira, downtown is not residential areas outside the city. Downtown is going to be the city center. Suburbs.
Good.
No, Thomas, it's not at the edge of the city. That's not, no, the suburbs are not the edge of the city.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the
No.
definition, but they would be located quite close to that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So suburbs, you're not far wrong, but if you use the word suburbs, it doesn't mean the edge of the city. Okay, but it means Yes,
Residential.
there we
Good,
go. So,
Tatiana. Good.
Tatiana. So the suburbs are the residential area outside the city or
Mhm.
at the edge of the city. It really depends on your city. but it specifically means where people live, so residential area.
Mhm.
The outskirts, okay? So what are the outskirts?
Yeah, what are the outskirts, everybody?
Mhm. So Jane, can you tell me about the outskirts of your hometown? Were they nice? Can
It
you
depends on
remember?
where. Let's talk about Florence. I mean, we can talk
Okay.
even about the outskirts of Florence. I mean, I could start naming little areas like Gavinana, Novoli. Those are all out, yes, the edge of the city. So,
Mm-hmm.
just not the downtown part, but if you're going to go right around the downtown area, those are called the outskirts.
Yeah. So I would live in the outskirts of Florence, Baracca, Novely area. Okay. And
Yeah.
street smart, streetwise, obviously, is the last one. So able to deal with problems of urban life. So I am from the countryside in Ireland. I am not street smart.
I don't
I
know
do,
about that.
but
Do
it's
you really
true.
think you're not
Yeah.
a street smart person?
Yeah, I would say because I wouldn't know how to get from one side of the city to the other. Okay, I don't know what buses to take, how to take them. At the start, I didn't even know how to get a ticket. The lack of Italian obviously
Oh,
doesn't
here
help.
we go again.
But yeah,
I can talk to your
so
girlfriend.
uh, for me, I would walk the distance instead of taking a bus. One, because I prefer walking, and two, because I am not street smart. I don't really know how. Now it's obviously getting better. So, are you streetwise
Yeah,
or street smart?
yeah, I am.
Okay. Yeah, so you could say like streetwise, street smart. You could also use for knowing how to protect yourself in the streets as well. Like
I
make sure
also think, I think that yes, I think it's also used for people that are able to deal with issues in general and think
Mhm.
very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a term that we use just for knowing your city and how to move around your city, but we
Okay.
refer
No.
to
No.
people that are street smart as people who are maybe intellectually not so intelligent, but yet know how to work their environment or work in their environment
Oh yeah.
very well.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. I was only giving an example, but yeah,
No,
exactly.
no,
Able
but
to kind of adapt to different situations that may
that's why
arise.
that's why I think, as a person in general, I would say, Seamus, you're a very street smart person because you look
Hmm.
like you're able to adapt to situations. I don't think that this gives a real definition of that word. I
Okay.
I don't really love it, but
Okay.
mm.
Perfect. Do you have an opposite? So Tatiana has a great question. What is the opposite of street smart? So
Oh, that's
Jane.
a great one, and I can come up with a bunch. So I think somebody who's like even like a nerd or a geek or uh, that to me is somebody who's intellectually very intelligent and has no idea how to behave in social situations and how to think on their feet. That's
Hmm.
to me would be the opposite of street smart.
Yeah,
Do you have
somebody
any?
who is,
Hmm?
uh, I guess, clueless. They
Yeah,
don't know how to do
yeah,
something. You could say
yeah.
clueless,
Clueless.
inexperienced, um, naive. So like they're really
Naive is a good one, I
yeah,
think.
naive,
Naive. Yeah, I think that's
really
really
silly
good.
mistakes. Okay, very very good. So now we have some questions to go along with this. Jane, can you read question number one?
Yeah. Number one, how would you describe your hometown?
So number two, what are the advantages to living in the sticks or in the suburbs? Okay, so
Mhm.
you can kind of try and give us some examples of one to the other. If you live in the sticks, tell us the advantages. If you live in the suburbs, tell us the advantages. There are always disadvantages and advantages. So what are the most important for you? Number 3, Jane?
What are the outskirts of your hometown like?
And number 4, can you be streetwise if you don't live in the city? That's a very good question.
That is a good question. And that's exactly what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
A country bumpkin. Tatiana, I love you. Only love for you, Tatiana. So Seamus, were you a country bumpkin? Let's just be honest here.
I guess so. Yeah.
You weren't a city slicker.
Definitely not a city slicker. No.
Country bumpkin. We used that. Did you use that word in
Never.
Never. Okay,
Not
so
really, no.
I must be American, but Tatiana, well done. A country bumpkin. I was kind of a country bumpkin because there were only in the outskirts of my hometown. It was only pastures and like a lot of farmland.
Okay. We used more really simple. You would just say you are a townie. So like you're streetwise. You know how cities, towns work, or you were a culchie.
A
To say you're
culture.
a
Never
culchie.
heard of that.
You're from the countryside. You were a farmer. You were a culchie. So CULCHIE, culchie.
Oh, very Irish.
Yeah, very Irish. Yeah.
Elvira's got this. I like this.
So
Pull this up.
I'll let you read.
I live in the suburbs of Grottaferrata, but I have to use the car all the time because there are no buses. So fantastic, Elvira. Let's just talk once again about the colon, okay? You used a colon and you do not need to, okay? In Italian, the Italians use the colon and the semicolon a lot. And in English, we really don't unless we're making a list of things, right, after the colon.
Yeah.
Usually with a list. So I live in the suburbs of Grottaferrata, but I have to use the car all the time because there are no buses.
Yeah.
Or there aren't any buses, okay?
Good. You need to talk to your mayor, Elvira, and make him schedule some buses to the suburbs of Grottaferrata. That is the only thing you can do now. So that was some of the, I guess, would that be a disadvantage of living in the suburbs?
Yeah, sometimes the transportation isn't so great. In Italy, for example, sometimes the transportation can be very difficult, definitely.
Yeah.
But how about the advantages? Are there any advantages to living in the sticks or living in the suburbs?
Okay, so I'll give some advantages for Florence.
Okay.
So I guess I would be in the outskirts of Florence. So the advantages are that I can use my car easily. Well, my fiance can use the car easily. So we can come and go really easily. I'm not on maybe the suburbs, so I do have buses. So I can use cars or buses easily. So it is easier to get out of the city, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
So I think there are advantages. I am closer to shops than I was in the sticks in Donegal in Ireland.
Okay, so can you read this one for me, Seamus?
Okay, so the advantages to living in the sticks is be careful with pace, because pace means fast. So the peace and the fresh air. So we'd say peace and quiet and the fresh air. I fully agree.
Yes.
Okay, just be careful with the spelling. So the peace and the fresh air is definitely one of the major advantages. So I would say Redcastle. I think we're going to have the same question now. So what are 3 adjectives to describe your hometown? So Redcastle is peaceful, gorgeous, and very green. One disadvantage, in the summer, it can smell really bad because the farmers
The farmers.
the farmers spread manure.
Do they make a good cheese where you're from? Is the cheese
Cheese?
delicious?
Nope, but they make lovely milk. Donegal milk.
Donegal, the milk of Donegal. Donegal milk.
Donegal Creameries. Advertising.
Fantastic. Okay. And how about Elvira or Tatiana? Can you come up with 3 adjectives to describe your hometown? Tatiana, you said you were from Russia originally. I think.
Oh, wow.
Did you
Yeah.
say St. Petersburg? Was it? I can't remember now. But Tatiana, do you want to come up with 3 adjectives to describe your hometown? That would be great.
Yeah.
Hmm?
And they don't all have to be positive. You can use some negatives if you want. So I'm thinking St. Petersburg is definitely going to be cold.
Cold, but cold. Oh.
I would love it. I think it would be great.
Where I grew up, okay, frigid.
In the
Oh,
northeast of America. Yeah.
terrible.
What is the deepest level of snow you have experienced in America?
Let me tell you something. I would call my mother when I was living in Boston. I'd call my mother and I said, Mom, I was going to leave a message. Why are you home? She says, well, I can't really get out of the house because the doors won't open because the snow is so high. When I say a lot of snow, we got the most accumulative snow in, I think, many years in the entire.
Oh, I think we lost her. Okay.
Did I lose you? Oh,
massive
Tatiana.
amounts. You lost us for a second.
Yes.
So Tatiana Panova, I was raised in St. Petersburg. It's a very big urban, touristy, and historical city. There are many museums and theaters. Excellent. Good example. Just be careful with the spelling of theaters, but amazing. Perfect. And then the second example. There is also a river, Neva, and lots of channels. So be careful there. So there is also a river called Neva, and not a lots, but and lots of channels. My family live in the edge of the city. You could say my family live at the edge of the city. Before I moved to Lyon, I used to live in the sticks in my country house. Oh, beautiful. So country house, was it wooden? That's what I think for country house.
Outside of St. Petersburg. Tatiana, outside of St. Petersburg, right? On the edge of the river.
Yeah.
On the edge of the city. The city. Okay.
Yeah, it must be in St. Petersburg because she said before I moved to Lyon.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
They say that St. Petersburg is the most beautiful city in the world. Have you ever been to St. Petersburg, Seamus?
No, not yet, but I'd love to go sometime.
Thank you, Tatiana. That was wonderful.
Take a vacation, a MIS vacation to St. Petersburg.
Yeah,
I think
that should be our next.
Very good idea.
The next one in December next year, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, number 2. What would people enjoy the most about your hometown? Or what would people enjoy the least about your hometown? So can you guys share some examples? So I have 8 people watching. I want to see 3 or 4 different examples. What are the most enjoyable or the least enjoyable things about your hometown?
Oh, it's cold, rainy, and windy city. Yes, Tatiana, I bet it is.
I guess the most enjoyable thing about Red Castle might be the hotel and the golf course and the spa.
Right. The most enjoyable thing is people is eating outside in the restaurants. Okay, so Elvira says that the thing about most enjoyable thing is the eating outside.
Yeah, so you would say the most enjoyable thing for people is eating outside. I like that. That's really good. Really,
Yeah, no.
really nice. So that means obviously that your weather is usually very good. I couldn't do that in
Stunning.
Redcastle. Your
Red Castle.
your head will get blown off your shoulders.
Okay, so look at the time already. We
Yeah.
have to finish up here.
Mm-hmm. So you can obviously pause the video at this stage and you can try and answer the rest of these questions in the comments. We will have a read and get back to you. But for now, have a lovely afternoon. Me and Jane
Thank
are
you
going
all.
to go and teach some more lessons.
Yep.
So goodbye from us. It was a
Bye.
pleasure. Bye.
It was a pleasure. Bye, guys.